A roaring lion kills no game. That's an African proverb. And welcome to episode 14 of the Design to Win podcast. This is the program where we share entrepreneur secrets and keys to help you to win in your life and career. I'm your host, Ruth Taylor, and today we're going to be talking about how to overcome the fear of putting your work out there. And I'm going to be sharing some keys that help me to do that. If you are just joining our podcast for the first time, I am Kamika Ruth Taylor. I'm a Jamaican entrepreneur, best-selling author, and indie publisher, as well as career coach. And today, as I said, I want to talk about how do you overcome the fear of putting your work out there, especially as an author. I remember when I was publishing my first book. So, as I shared on episode 13, I wrote my manuscript real fast. In 11 days, I wrote over 60,000 words. And so I had set that deadline to finish it for my 34th birthday. And I was really excited. And I knew initially why I wanted to write, that I would cause my experiences to pay dividends, and I wanted to bring liberation and consolation to somebody using my experiences. But along the way, I got cold feet. It was my personal story and my personal journey, and the title of the book was Heartache Queen Unshackled: My Journey Towards Self-Acceptance, Liberation, and Wholeness. So the book had a lot of pain, captured my heartaches from childhood until that age, until age 33. And I was scared to put the book out there. So after my publisher was working on the book and everything, I told her to stop. This was maybe about 3 months before the launch, because I started having what we call imposter syndrome, and so the fear became so real that I was saying, should I really put my story out there? Who is going to be hurt by this? I was struggling with fear. Who am I going to alienate as a result of this? I began to question my subtitle. Am I really whole? Am I unshackled? Have I truly accepted myself? And so everything, I began to question everything, and I didn't feel as if I could do it. And I remember crying and fasting and praying and writing down, now, in what way have I been unshackled? Let me really see if I am unshackled. And I started jotting down the areas in which I knew I had begun to walk in freedom. And I double checked it with the book to see if the book was true, because I was really struggling at this time. And I remember even calling my pastor and sharing what was happening. And then I was concerned about the cost, because at that time I was going to be spending a lot, and there were challenges along the journey. Almost 10,000 US dollars the whole process was going to take, and I had difficulties coming up with the money, and it was really a challenging time. But I remember speaking to my pastor, and one of the things he said to me was, God will not bring you this far to cause you to drown. And I went back and said, why am I doing this? I was scared that I shared too much information. And indeed, in this book, I think I overshared. But I went back at that time and I eliminated stuff and I rewrote, because not every story needs to be told. And I use pseudonyms for places and people. And I really checked to see if I was writing, to get back at anybody and that kind of thing. But once I remember my brother calling me, and he played a particular song by Kevin Downswell. I can't remember the name of the song. If I grab the book, I will find it. But that ministered to me, and my mother encouraged me, and I had a team around me. I remember a friend of mine saying that the books in you need to come out for greater impact. And with that, I decided to take the step and put myself out there, because I believe, as my mother had said, that your greatest strategy is your gateway to blessing. And I had committed to doing this, and she said, if the book will help one person, then it's worth it. And so because I had a compelling reason and a support system, I was able to put my work out there. um we talk about feel the fear, but do it anyway. So, what 3 tips could I share with you, or keys to help you to overcome this if you are struggling? One, I want to ask you to double check your reasons for writing. And if it is your memoir or personal story, are you doing it to get back at anybody? Is your conscience clear? If your conscience is clear and you really feel that this book is going to help somebody and this is what God wants you to do, obedience is what matters. Get the book out there. And that's what I did. So feel the fear, but do it anywhere. Do a self check. Is your conscience clear? Is this book going to really be of help to somebody? And I like to tell persons that somebody's destiny is dependent on your book. Somebody's deliverance is dependent on your book. Your book could be the boat that helped them to cross to the other side of their pain, the other side. Your book could alter somebody's destiny for good, because a book did that for me as a teenager, which is why I am still alive today. And since I published that book, I've gotten several emails. I'm not now talking about the doors that the book has opened for me. That is good, but what is most rewarding are the emails that persons have sent me and said how the book has helped them and they are grateful for it. I remember the last one I got from a young lady. It wasn't email, it was WhatsApp messages. And she said, it must have taken a lot for you to write this book, but I'm thankful that you wrote this book. And the book has become such a blessing. Up to the other day, this is what, 4 years later, I was invited to a church, and in the service, the pastor interviewed me as part of the sermon, um, to share with people how to overcome certain things based on this very same book. So don't allow the fear to stop you. If God has called you to write this book and you believe it will help somebody, feel the fear, but do it anyway. Don't let the fear stop you from putting your work out there. Go ahead and put it out there. This is Ruth Taylor saying, remember, life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by design. And in your design to win, especially if you're a creative, make sure you know that what you're doing will benefit others. And if what you're doing is connected to a cause bigger than yourself, it will enable you to step out. And just the thought of helping somebody else to win will make it all worth it. So I hope that helps you right now. Ta for now. Until next time.